What is up, guys? Welcome back to RC Crawler Workbench. I'm Nate, and I got the Ford Raptor build in front of me. Not a lot's changed since the last video shoot. I've added a couple pieces to the exoskeleton cage that I'm putting on it, and I've cleaned up some of the brazing joints. Other than that, it might look a whole lot similar to the way it looked last video. I did post some pictures to Google Plus. Some of you guys might have seen the other night that I took of the, I guess I call them the pillar tubes or whatever. So I think these supports right here on the front of the cab are called pillars. So I guess it was kind of fitting, but that was of these two pieces here as I was bending them and putting them on and whatnot. Now this cab is not mounted yet. Been exploring different options for that. Let's get this chassis out of the way. I guess I can go over that real quick for some guys that may not be familiar. Put the GCM Ford mounts kit in it, and kind of changed the rear suspension just because of the bed. I want this truck to kind of sit stock, so with those big old shock hoops up there, that wasn't going to be possible. So I'm exploring stuff here. I had the RC four-wheel drive scale shocks on the back, but I had that configuration on my SCX10 with those shocks, and every time I'd go uphill, they would compress so much that the truck just wanted to roll backwards. So they're not really performance-driven shock; they're more for scale appearance. So not really sure what other options that I'm going to explore as far as modifying things. Hopefully the front will sit down low enough. It seems like the front will sit down low enough to my liking right here. But other than that, man, RC four-wheel drive, hazard wheels, and 1.9s and 1.9 Dick CPEC Fun Country 2s. So the cage. Right now it slips on and off because it's not mounted. What I'm thinking about doing, go back to the mounting, to mount this body on that chassis. Body holes through the hood, that's completely out of the question. Magnets, not really doing it for me. Velcro, out of the question. So what I'm thinking about doing maybe is I'm gonna mount the cage to the body, obviously, in several locations, in the front, in the sides, and in the rear. Two of the mounting positions in the rear are already on. I made those two little deals right there with some rod, solid rod. I'm not sure what the diameter is, and then these this right here is just a small section of this 3/16 steel brake line that I'd cut, and the rod only goes down in about, I don't know, a third of the way of this whole length. So basically what's going to happen is, with this sit on here, I will take and put a screw up through the bottom of the bumper, and it'll come up into that little cylinder there, and use a self tapper or something. It'll tap right up in, and I'm going to do that basically on. It's kind of hard to hold this thing lined up like this, but basically on both sides of the rear. And then I'm not sure where else I'll put mounts at. And then as far as securing the whole thing to the chassis itself, I'll probably use the rock guards, and I'll probably modify it. You know, this won't be the finished product as far as the rock slider goes. I may do more like a boat style rock slider, and regardless though, it'll mount to the chassis via the rock sliders. Basically the mounting components will either come under this or come through the bottom here below where the door seam is, and it'll bolt to the chassis that way. So to take my body off, I'll have to unbolt it from underneath the sides. Not a big deal. Something else I'm exploring with it right now is some kind of a roof rack. I actually bent this piece of rod, the same rod I used for them back pieces I showed you a minute ago, and I'm trying to figure out how I want to do, maybe a half roof rack, since this does have a sunroof. I don't want to cover it up. being it's a Raptor, I'm not going to bother trying to get rid of that sunroof. I'll leave it on there. But I was thinking about bending several of these and running them up there. I guess I'm gonna grab the camera and bring it over here and kind of go around the cage, let you look at it, and I'll show you guys that aren't familiar. I'll show you what I'm using to braise. I don't have the torch in here. Basically, I'm using a Braising Torch with MAP gas. The torch head is pretty much specifically made for braising. You pick that up Home Depot, Lowe's, etc. You don't want to get one of them normal little torches that has the turn knob and you strike the striker. It really, I mean, you could use that, but the Braising Torch works so much better. It heats it up faster, you waste less gas, all that good stuff. I also have a MAP oxygen set up, use like a jeweler's torch, and that's good for like solid rod and stuff to heat it up. But this is tubing, so the Braising Torch works just fine. And these are Lincoln Electric flux coated bronze brazing rods, and they are the 332 diameter. A lot easier to use than the 1/8 diameter because it melts quicker. I've heard guys having problems, couldn't get nothing hot enough to do anything, but they were using I believe they're the 1/8 rods. It's just too big for this, really. These 332 rods are perfect for this. But anyhow, any other questions anybody might have or whatever, just holler at me, let me know. Do a quick little overshoot of the truck here. Again, like I said, I've cleaned some of these joints up. Some of them I have more cleaning up on them to do probably. Inevitably, when I get done doing all my braising, I'll go back over everything and make sure all the crap's off of them. This piece, this lower section here, from here to right about here is a joint, and I think I posted a video about, I was trying to make this as strong as I could. So there's an inner rod inside here that helps hold that together, but it turned out pretty good. You can't really see the seam. It's, you know, I know it's there, so I notice it, but to the ignorant, they wouldn't know any different. If you're not saying anybody's ignorant, but if they were ignorant to that being there. Let me clarify. I know in this day and age, people get butthurt pretty easy. I don't want nobody to get a sour ass over that. So yeah, and I'll, you know, I think about doing some kind of maybe that thinner rod. Maybe do like the shape of this grill here. Maybe do that shape here as well. You know, I don't know yet, man. It's kind of, I don't have any plans, any prints that I go by. I just kind of start putting pieces together. If I like it, it stays that way. If I don't, it goes away. So anyhow, guys, let's set the thing up here again. Guys, I appreciate y'all. Sorry about that loud noise. I appreciate y'all tuning in, and as soon as I can get some more stuff done on this bad boy, I'll post up another video. Till then, see y'all out on the trail.